Yesterday we were talking with Dr. Walt Larimore about emotional and mental health and how it affects your overall health, and we want to continue that discussion today in our devotional time. Walt, you were talking yesterday about the three groups, the grumblers, the gloaters, and then those who were grateful, and how much of a change it made in the health of those who were grateful. What about people who've been abused, people who grew up in an atmosphere, a home environment where they were put down on all the time, and so they just naturally think negatively. And I mean, how did they deal with that?
Here's how I think about that, Sammy. Take aspirin. You know, more and more people are taking that little tiny baby aspirin, that 81 milligram aspirin, to prevent colon cancer, to prevent cardiovascular disease. It doesn't matter how depressed you are, how angry you are, how irritated you are, how much you've been abused in the past. That aspirin is designed to work, irrespective of where you're coming from. I tell people to think of gratitude as being an emotional aspirin that you can take every day, irrespective of the wrong, irrespective of the harm, irrespective of the background, irrespective of the injustice, irrespective of the abuse. Gratitude is part of God's divine design to begin to heal us. And so I tell my patients, keep a gratitude journal. If you're a person who enjoys meditating in the evening, you can do this before bed, or you can do it first right when you get up in the morning. But for a 30-day period, just every day, write 5 things that you're grateful for. Now, initially, you may have to look, but as you get better with this exercise, you'll find things during the day that you'll remember. And that night, take 3 to 5 minutes and just meditate on those things you're grateful for, to thank the Father in heaven, to thank your Creator for the blessings that He has bestowed. Now, there may be a lot of things that went wrong that day, but you can find 5 things that you're grateful for. As you begin to meditate on that, it not only changes you emotionally, it changes you physically. The studies show that blood pressure improves, heart rate improves, metabolism improves. Emotionally, we begin to improve. It affects our relationships, our job performance, and it even affects us spiritually as we begin to see God's fingerprints every day in what He provides for us.
What about worry? Because a lot of people are very anxious today. You know, the future, family, fortunes, everything around us. A lot of worry, I find, and especially in an economy like we have. How do men deal with worry?
Well, Scripture throughout tells us, be not anxious. Do not be anxious. Do not fret. Do not be afraid. But it's hard to apply that. I'll give you a story from my own life. You know, I'm self-employed as a writer, a volunteer at a clinic taking care of uninsured folks. But income's an issue. And so I was fretting about it this last January. I got fretting about where's it going to come from and how are we going to handle the bills. And Barb my wife got kind of irritated. She went downstairs and she came up and she brought 5 little piles of paper and she put them down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she said, this is the taxes from this year. And this is the taxes from last year. And that's the year before and the year before. And you know what? God's provided every year. Why are you worrying? And it was a good reminder to me that I can choose to take that worry upon me, or I can release it to my Father. And so for me, learning how to daily depend upon His provision, be thankful for His provision, and be a good steward for what He provides can make a difference.
So we need to make some lifestyle changes periodically to, maybe to be good stewards, and then also to just cast it on Him. If we know we're doing the right thing, we can trust Him.
And that's where a mentoring relationship has made a difference for me. I've mentioned earlier that I've had a mentor for 25 years, and every week of the month we would meet. The first week of the month, Bill would have me bring my checkbook and my MasterCard bill. And he would help me look at how I was stewarding those finances. The second week of the month, we looked at my schedule. How was I stewarding my time? And the third week of the month, he would call Kate and Scott, my kids, and find out what type of daddy I had been. And the fourth week, Sammy, was the hardest. He'd call Barb and find out what type of a friend and what type of a husband I'd been. And if there was a 5th Tuesday, we met on Tuesdays, then he would call my partner and meet with my employees. And that type of mentoring helped me as a man to begin to get my priorities right, and that can help reduce some of that worry and anxiety.
This is good stuff. And we're going to have some more tomorrow with Dr. Walt Larimore. And you be sure we're going to be talking about relationships, which gets even more difficult here. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper tomorrow. We look forward to it.